Sega.
Sonic 想像以上にやる
どれエッグマンの技術も手に入れたしの改造手術でもしてみてはどうじゃ。
な。メカハリネズミですか。面白い。さすがです師匠。
なにお前さんも同じことを考えておったろ。
さあそろそろピリオドを打つとしよう。
Hello again, everyone. This is Shadow of Blackbird 7, and Blackbird 7X in this case. And after such a long time, we're back, continuing with some Sonic Lost World action, if the freshness is still right there. So, it has been my last upload was around, I suppose, I think the end of January, and today is July, so I guess it's around 5 months, I guess, 6 months. Not because we're not going to the end of July. Let's just say 6 months. And yes, we are back with Sonic Lost World and continue where we left off. We are in the next zone, Silent Forest. As I pause the game as I try to, in this probably case, just get a clue what exactly we're supposed to do in this part, So as I said again last time, I'll just, it's just me. In regards to the commentary, just talking about what exactly am I doing as I do each level, how since all this is my first playthrough of the game, all this gameplay, so no perfections whatsoever, everything is a bunch of mistakes, everything is all rushed and whatnot, so I'll just share my thoughts on what exactly I've been doing to approach this level in my first run of in this case, Silent Forest. So, Silent Forest, one of the stages where I just really enjoy the music. It has a little jazzy feel, kind of gives it more of a, as perhaps goes through the rest of the entire zone, really jazzy feel. And so far, yeah, not really impressive performance right now, as I died so stupidly right there, trying to navigate around those what should be flowers, and you can actually jump around those things. So yeah, there you go. It opens up those petals for you to jump across safely. Although those red ones over there, if I remember correctly, they close after a certain period of time. So yeah, as I said before, not really a super smooth gameplay. I'm kind of essentially rushing myself around here. Now, if I remember correctly, I haven't been playing Lost World for a long time. As a matter of fact, recently I've been kind of busy myself playing Mario Kart, considering that I am one who really enjoys racers, and of course I cannot simply ignore Mario Kart. Especially that this entry of Mario Kart is probably much more better than of course last time. Again, if you watch E3, the developers have been considering the idea of balancing out the gameplay. But this is all off topic as we're talking about a Sonic game here, not a Mario game, so hopefully I don't anger any of you Sonic fans for watching this game. So just essentially just taking it slowly. Those were just pretty easy. A bunch of kick attacks. The homing attacks, of course, render useless in this first level of Silent Forest. And the red rings here are a little bit tricky to find. They come in places where you're not supposed to. Like, you see the transitions, like with those giant springs and whatnot. They're in places where you don't, where those giant springs make you land. A little careful dodging around those little lasers, those dragonfly-like robots. And I suppose there's a red ring right there, kind of really breezed by me quickly through that little sequence right there. And there it goes. The end of Zone 1. One unnecessary death, but oh well. not too bad for a first run. And moving on, I believe we have a cutscene coming up, so here we go.
なんか変だな。
動物たちは俺が助ける。
ソニック、ワンダだよ。
テイルズ、ノー！そんなバカな。
テイルスの行動は見事じゃった。彼の犠牲を無駄にするんじゃない。
助けられたはずなのに、こんな時に俺が一番呪いなんて。
Well, too bad for Sonic losing his best bud and Tails. As I said before, within my top 5, one of my favorite characters of Sonic series. Sonic, unfortunately, not being in the top 5 myself. So moving on to the second act, I believe I have a cutscene.
バラがそこにいるんだろ感じる。
おい、テイルスをどこへやった？
ソニックが目の前に。
ふざけるな。捕まったのは俺の仲間だ。返せ。
ああ、神とは時に残酷を好むと聞くが、青き者との決着を好まれるとはね。青き者との決着は我が運命だが、今はその時じゃない。
Huh?
Toe? And we are now introduced to Zor, perhaps one of my favorite members of Daily 6. Now, compared to the English version, Zor is... Zor depicts the stereotypical, like, scene, emo kind of guy, while here, kind of goes the same in the Japanese, but more towards the goth culture. Not goth as in, like, as Westerners, as in almost like into emo and stuff, but if any of you guys are familiar with, like, I mean, I don't watch anime, but if you guys are familiar with, like, Japanese culture, especially anime, more of, like, the Lolita goth stuff, you know, more goth as in towards, like, their clothing is inspired by, like, what you call, like, goth, like, Victorian era dresses, all black and stuff, almost like in the same sense as in, I'm thinking about this one author, what's his name? Edgar Allan Poe. You know, one of those gloomy, you know... I mean, if you... kind of losing my train of thought here, excuse me. But I hope you know what I mean when I mean like goth. Not like emo goth, but goth, the historical goth. So that's what he is in the Japanese version. Even his language reflects that, you know, kind of more towards like a Victorian. If you were to, you know, if you guys have watched the little translations I did of Sonic Lost World that I posted back in March, then you could have seen that, you know, the language isn't, Zora's kind of language isn't really direct. It's more like a, kind of almost like verses out of like a Edgar Allan Poe kind of a poem, Raven or whatever, and that's a really horrible death right there. Or if you don't know what I'm talking about, that I guess I don't know what I'm talking about either, because I think I don't know what I'm talking about either. But here we are, second level of Silent Forest. This one kind of gave me a long time. Hopefully don't just probably to foreshadow a little bit of how exactly I'm doing in this level. Pretty tricky, as you can see, if you can really tell just by the level layout. If you see the background, those are the later parts of the level. You're actually, Sonic is essentially going around a circle. From the outside part all the way to the inside part. The inside part, Zora waits in that giant owl. You could see his eyes, the little like lighthouse-like eyes in the background. And I really enjoy the music in this level too. Kind of a something, you know, fitting for a like a, you know, like a little like an Italian dinner of some sort. You know, nothing stereotypically here, but you know, have some sort of spaghetti, some sort of one of those little musicians, you know, hometown musicians that play in the night. You know, you're not doing so well in this level. I mean, what can I expect? Being this just the first run in sorts. And we are now introduced to the first whip, and this is the Rhythm Wisp. Perhaps one of the wisps I'd say is so damn stupid and pointless. So essentially, what you're supposed to do here is essentially point the stylus on the gamepad to those little orange dots you see right there, like those DS games. Like what's that one DS game I was thinking about? Pretty fun, like those little rhythm games where you gotta press you gotta hit the circles at the exact right time to get to the rhythm and get the maximum points, like Elite Beat Agents. So that's what I was thinking. Even though I don't have the game, but I played like the demo. That was a long time ago. Yeah, but really, I don't really enjoy. This is one of the Wisp, along with the Asteroid Wisp, which I don't really like. I don't find it like really like banal, if that's the right word to describe it. And I had no idea. And for my first one, I have exactly no idea how that rhythm wisp works. So just to pussy out, decided to hit the next checkpoint, having zero lives whatsoever. So let's see how far I could go. I don't remember how exactly I played this game, and that was horrible. Thought that second hit would take rid of that little praying mantis looking like a robot. There was some mushrooms right there. Of course, we got our Sonic's trusty kick for some multi-kills. And there's that one really easy red ring to get. And we're now... And that is a horrible death. And I've yet to really... Still from this point, since, you know, this is my first, this gameplay here is my first attempt through, the entire game. I still have yet to really understand or really handle the control of Sonic. Sometimes, because it's not like... I mean, of course, he feels much looser compared to, like, previous games like Generations, Unleashed, and Colors, where, it's more of a those games, And for Generations, I'm talking about Mario Sonic, where his turn, that little emphasis of speed, kind of suggests like really limits his left and right turning, if you know what I mean. Really tight, like even like a boat, because that extra emphasis of speed. But here, more of the the usual standard platformers. But from this point, still, if I think I mentioned this back in my previous episodes, that I still have a tough time just really mastering his little parkour system. Because sometimes, of course, if you remember, I think you remember the last episode with me in Frozen Factory, I had a close miss where I accidentally like jumped too far, and Sonic's apparently ability to walk kept me going. Now trying to get that second ring right there. First ring earlier was from the little series of jumps in those two dragonfly-like robots earlier, if I remember correctly. But this is no easy level to finish, especially as evident with me here in this gameplay. Not so easy at all. Like I'm just tapping right from this point, just tapping the stars like bam 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 bam. Having no idea whatsoever how, or just just really considering how seemingly useless and stupid that Wisp is. I mean, Sonic Colors collection of Wisp when they first are obviously better and much more fun to use than these Wisp introduced here. Perhaps the Wisp I also really disliked from Colors was, ooh, and near death right there. So much for that extra jump that I had for the extra bounce I did from getting the box with the Wisp. Yeah, and I believe there's a red ring on the top right there, but I think I kind of got rid of any chance of getting that. And there's a red ring on the bottom if I remember correctly, or if I'm probably correct, I don't know. Every time I jump to get that animal box right there. And I believe this is the part where the red ring is. Yep, there it is. There's actually the fourth ring. or the 5th ring, I'm sorry. Yeah, the 4th ring earlier was on that high ledge right there. So I guess we're close to the end of the level. I guess I should probably from this point like put up a little, or probably like, you know, just quiet down the area. Now this part of the level I really hate, because right here if you get caught by it's almost like a little Metal Gear Solid kind of a thing where if you get caught by the spotlight, you're captured and you're done with. But sometimes things just get really unfair. Like especially like say for example you activate, I remember I had cases where you activate the rhythm and then you know how Sonic is still in midair, when you still activate it, he gets captured, so I never get to use my rhythm. Yeah, that was pretty stupid, wasn't it? Oh dear. I think this is probably one of the cases where I actually get captured by the spotlight. Yeah. There you go. Goodbye, Sonic. just wait and see. One of these cheap, you know, points in the game. Again, if I remember reading through some of the, you know, the criticisms of the reviews of Sonic Lost World, you know, just, you know, one of the, for those who are like you know, the younger gamers who are not so experienced and, you know, not really understanding of how, you know, the entire the games of Sonic works. And you see how stupid that death was. You know, just a bunch of really cheap moments in this game. Of course, this isn't the cheapest, as I shall show later. Just trying to get away from that little spotlight. Now, this never has happened to me, but obviously with that giant owl that just passed right now, of course, he'll probably do something if you, like, stand there and wake it up, so trying to be a little cautious, and that is futile. It leaves me off with 2 lives, technically. 1 life right there. A little of the cold. See? Just grab the little bottle. Now I could have just skipped that one, but I guess I decided to, like, you know, test my gut out and see, like, you know, let's be a man and let's try to get our way across. And I almost got caught by the spotlight right there. Will I get to the end of the level with this final life? We shall see. And no, we do not. That's another game over. Count that. I don't know how many game overs. I don't think I've been even tracking my game overs since I've been starting out this playthrough of mine. But yeah, another tough luck. And here we go again, another chance to get through. But here, from this point, I'm like, screw this level. I'm trying to, like, I'll just, like, speed my way across and finish this hard level. Man, I thought I would die. I would die right there. I mean, that would be like that looked like a guaranteed knockout, for sure, as we saw earlier. So I missed the first ring actually. The last one, I actually got the first ring. Eee! Sometimes, you know, you wish that, you know, you could just lock on to that actual bomb that doesn't explode and, you know, kick it back into that little, you know, bear robot of sorts. But, you know. Perhaps one thing that I also don't really enjoy along with the Sonic's parkour system, although, you know, kind of gives a little, you know, ease and, you know, kind of appropriate to, you know, how kind of a character that Sonic is. But another thing I really don't enjoy is perhaps damn, what was I thinking about? Yeah, what was I talking about earlier? I don't really enjoy about Sonic Lost World. I guess it just escaped my mind. I don't understand that death at all. That was so pointless. Oh yeah, so I was talking about is the multiple homing attack, you know, the auto lock on for multiple homing attack, you know. I rather go with like the traditional style, like back as in the beginning of as introduced in Sonic Adventure, where, you know, it's more of a manual lock on, you know. Although of course, you know, for purposes of you know, knowing exactly where you're hitting, of course, like a little cursor system that was introduced back in, I think. What was the first Sonic that introduced like a lock on that shows exactly what you're aiming at when you do a homing attack? I think Sonic and the Secret Rings. I don't remember. I mean, of course, I haven't played any Sonic game at all. I haven't played any of the Pocket games other than, you know, emulated versions of Sonic Battle, a little bit of Sonic Advance, and what else? Sonic Chronicles, Sonic Rush. I mean, I haven't owned a Pocket console myself. I mean, the only Pocket console I ever owned was a Game Boy Color. No Sonic games back then. And back then, Sega was still making its own consoles. And now we're on to the little spotlight part. Get away from me, spotlight. Come on. I'm not gonna die the stupid way like last time. Oh dear. Oh dear. I thought I messed up right there. Oh boy, here comes the spotlight. Come on, Sonic, run faster. Jeez. Ooh, thought that was a really short jump, but good thing I had that extra second jump to handle. Ah! Sucks. Sucks. And we're almost there. Almost near the end. Denied. And then you have Sora's really brooding voice in the background. Kinda gives me a like just hearing his voice, you know, from this moment right now. Kinda gives the first thing I'm thinking about was and Brio, one of the villains of Crash Bandicoot, you know. And here we go, what is Gar? Here we go against the first battle against Sora. And this battle is actually pretty simple. What it is that you just get the right enough height and just propel those little cannonballs back to the robot owl right there. And that goes with a little kick, not a homing attack. So not a really interesting boss fight at all, actually. Just trying to get the same level. Though kind of from this point, I'm like, I gotta finish this level. Yeah, you can see right there. I just really want to like rush through this level and just finish this once and for all. Because this is obviously, when I first played it, not one of my favorite levels whatsoever. Yet, this is not the worst level. That's worth playing this game. And now we just have to hit Sora because we just knocked him out. So a little homing attack will do. Although, as I didn't know from this point, is that if for like, you know, like one of the tougher enemies, if you have Sonic stand right in front of him and have them like, you know, have the cursor like lock onto it for a while, there will be more cursors aimed at the enemy itself. And this would be an important factor when facing one of the later bosses later. And I bet for those who actually play the game know which boss I'm talking about. But yeah, if we're one of the tougher enemies in the bosses, if you have Sonic stand there longer, there'll be multiple cursors targeted on the boss, and it kind of gives like an indication of like the kind of power that like almost like a power thing, Like if you lock into him longer, you get a much stronger homing attack. If that's a better way to explain it. And yeah, not much of a challenge at all. There goes Zor, or at least his first encounter with Zor, and I guess I'll just have to close it down right here. We're clocking in around, I think, around almost 26 minutes from this point, if I looking at my clock right correctly. And I guess our next episode of this would have us travel to the remaining 2 zones. That is Silent Factory. Silent Forest. Levels 3 and levels 4. So, once again, this is Shadow of Blackbird 7. Until next time, see you soon.
Yeah! ようこそソニック、待っていたぞ。
あれ、青くないだよ。
この役立たずどもがネズミ1匹捕まえることができんのか。